Oh my gosh. I gotta say, out of all video game adaptations I've seen of Sonic, Mortal Kombat and that, as a big fan of this game franchise, this game in general, these games, and people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I love this movie. Yep. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Daily Reacts TV here, and today I am very excited to give you guys my review of Uncharted. I gotta say, this movie, man. But before I get to my review, I want to let you guys know what took me so long to make this review is, one, my storage. My phone storage was acting so like shit so many times that I couldn't even make this review for you guys. I did have everything I needed ready for like the pictures and all that I've been using, included the thumbnail. And when I got ready to get stuff ready, when I started hitting recording, it has that stupid thing saying, you don't have enough storage. So it really pissed me off that I didn't have enough storage just to make this review for you guys. But I had everything. I kept all the pictures and all that. I did see this Saturday, and that's when the storage shit happened. So, you know, and another certain reason, I was supposed to see this on Monday, on the day after the release, like the week after the opening of the movie. But one, my mom was in the hospital, and two, I had to go to my cousin's wedding, so I literally had to wait, and then I had to go see the Batman, so I literally was like, okay, we'll push Uncharted till Saturday, I can go see it, and then do my review when I get a chance. So I let it sink in a few times, and I gotta say, I still love this movie after getting out of it. So those are the reasons why this review hasn't even happened for like a week or so, I think it is. Yeah, so let's get to the review. So basically, the story of Uncharted follows the same treasure story, but let's just get into it, just break it down the best we can. Where Nathan Drake and Sam live in an orphanage. Sam had to go to jail, but he runs off and tells Nate that he promised that he will let Nate out of the orphanage. Well, he didn't keep his promise. Going to the future, to present day, Nathan Drake works at a bar and basically does everything he can and also swipes a few things as a thief. We're gonna get into that like in the video game wise. Anyways, he goes in, he works, and then Sully comes in and introduces himself to Nathan Drake and says, I'm working for something for like a treasure, and I want you to be a part of it. And of course Nate rejects, and then at first he goes in and goes home, he looks at a bunch of his cards to see read what Sam has wrote to him in the past. Then he changes his mind. Going on this adventure, he goes find the treasure while dealing with other enemies and meeting his love interest in the future of the games, wink wink, Chloe, which she doesn't stay as the romance person in the video games, which we're gonna get into. And basically goes out and, you know, be an adventurer, be the famous archaeologist we all know him as, Nathan Drake. Now, many of you guys don't know, I love the video games. I loved them throughout. I even have the games. The games. See, I have Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which has all 3 of the games, and then Uncharted 4. These games, to me, are amazing. I never stopped playing them on my channel. I was addicted. So when I heard they were making an Uncharted movie, I was like, it's a video game adaptation being turned into a movie. I don't know about that. But then, originally they had Mark Wahlberg cast as Nathan Drake, but then he was recast as Sully, and then Tom Holland took over the role as Nathan Drake. I was like, okay, I'm interested. The trailers dropped. You know my reactions. I did the trailer reactions on my channel. So the movie dropped, and I went to go see it this week, like the weekend before, on Saturday, and I gotta say, I liked it. I love it. I love it to death. Like, this movie, I adored. When I went into the theater to see this, I freaking adored this movie. It was so good that I was like, oh my gosh, I want more of this. When can we have more? So, I would like to let you guys know, though, like, I only have one problem with this movie. So, those of you guys who are fans of Uncharted, the games of Uncharted like I am, and you're offended for me liking this movie, I'm sorry. You can hate me all you want, call me not a true Uncharted fan, but honestly, like, it's a movie. You gotta admit, like, some parts are worth changing. And I like some of the changes. They didn't bother me, which we're gonna get into the story. So, like I said, I went in this super hyped. I was really excited. I have my ticket. It's in the thing. I'm not going to show it in this video. Because, you know, I'll show it in a stream maybe. And I had everything. I went in to go see it before work. And I got to say, like I said, I love this movie. I love it. There was only one problem. Basically, let's start with the good. The two main duos. Let's start with Nathan Drake, played by Tom Holland. Now, a lot of you guys don't know, Nathan Drake in the video games is in his mid-40s. In this movie, though, he is in his mid-20s, which I actually liked because I thought that was interesting and an interesting take to Nathan Drake. But in this movie, Tom Holland is Nathan Drake. He was Spider-Man, yes, and a lot of people are going to be like, people were saying that he was miscast, and, like, honestly, I don't think he was miscast. I think he was meant to play Nathan Drake. He's not better than Nolan North, no. Nolan North played Nathan Drake very well in the video games. So, Tom Holland really does nail Nathan Drake. And part of people are going to tell me in the comments or on Discord or on, you know, everywhere else, they're going to say, oh, your opinion sucks. Why do you like Tom Holland as Nathan Drake? I have two reasons. One, I trust Tom Holland with the role of Nathan Drake. Reason, like, because I trust him. I know what he's going to do with the characters. I know he's going to do it right. Second, if he does most of the stunts and do it right, then I'll give him a chance. And sure enough, he did it right. And most of these scenes, he is Nathan Drake, and it's so cool. Most of his stunts are pretty cool. Most of everything he has done in this film is phenomenal. I thought he nailed it out of the park. Like, I think Tom Holland needs more experience with this character, but he did with Spider-Man, and he did really good as Nathan Drake. So hopefully in the sequel, they do it right. Basically, let's get to Mark Wahlberg as Sully. A lot of people didn't like Mark Wahlberg as Sully. To me, honestly, it didn't really bother me. I like Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I think he was perfect for the role. I mean, there is certain moments he is doing his Mark Wahlberg stuff, but when he does the Sully stuff, and he does all the stuff that Sully would do, then he is Sully. And that's what makes this character so much interesting, is that his character arc in this film is so fantastic. I love how Sully is in this movie. He's still the smart-ass person we know from the games. He still cares about Nathan Drake. And what's different between the guy who played Sully in the games and Mark Wahlberg is that he didn't have the mustache throughout the entire film. He does have the mustache in the after credits, which we are going to talk about in the film. I mean, in the review. And I gotta say, though, too, like, there's some moments that just made me laugh. You know, he's really funny. And let's get to Chloe. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't like Chloe in the video game. She was only in Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3. Didn't care for her in those games. And I didn't want to play Lost Legacy because she was in that game and she was the main... that game was like DLC, I was told. But anyways, I didn't like Chloe. When I came into this movie, I forgot Chloe was in it. So when I went in, I was like, oh great, Chloe's going to be in this. I wonder what she's going to be like. Sorry. And when I went out, I was thoroughly surprised. I really like Chloe in this film. She has great character development, great story arc, and then throughout the entire film, her and Nate have a back-to-back romance, which we're going to talk about in the next segment. But she really does do really well as the character that I wanted to see in a game. This actress does it. I think she played Dora in the Dora live-action movie, and she also played that one chick from the family that Mark Wahlberg movie was in. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a good film, and I really enjoyed it. But I think she was in those, but when I see her in this film, I saw a different focus of Chloe, which I really liked. And I really enjoyed her Chloe in this movie. Chloe, I really liked, and that is nothing I would never thought of said. So, would I play Uncharted Lost Legacy? Yes, I would actually, thanks to this film. It would actually make me respect her character a little bit more in the other 3 games. So, I give you that. Give you props. Just bravo to the people who made this film. Just bravo. The villain we have in this film is the guy who is the dad in Spy Kids. To be honest, though, I was not expecting, I was expecting him to be the main villain, which He is not. But he was terrifying in this film. He was really good in this film. I really respect him more in this film than Spy Kids. Sorry, Spy Kids, I didn't really respect you in that film, dude. But in this film, you went full on point. I never saw him as a villain in any film. He played Puss in Boots, like I said, Spy Kids' dads. But in this film, he is the villain. So I was like in the trailer, yeah, I didn't say it in the trailer reaction, but I was like, yeah, I don't know about him playing the villain. But when I came out of the film, I'm just like, why wasn't this guy the main villain? This guy could have been this guy was a good villain. He was so cool in this film. He takes risks that he wants to take and just to get to this one treasure. That's a villain. That's a really great villain. And part of his character arc in this film is to prove to his father and everyone else in the family that he is not worthless and he'll do anything to get the treasure. Anything. And that's really cool. I really like how they did that in this film. Now, sadly enough, he's not the main villain, and he got killed off, which I did not really care for, because the main villain we got needs a little bit worked on. I gotta say, I also like certain parts in this film, and this is what I'm gonna say. There is two good parts I gotta say about this film, and they really work. Now, the changes we got, I don't have a problem with them whatsoever. And I can name two changes. One change is how Nathan Drake gets the famous iconic necklace from the game. Now, if many of you guys don't know, in the third game, how they met, I'm going to play the clip for you right now.
You can relax, kid. We're safe here. Go on. Suit yourself. You don't want it.
What do you want from me?
A little gratitude would be nice. I did just save your ass back there.
Thanks. But what's in it for you? I mean, you're a crook, right? You gotta have an angle.
You are one piece of work, kid. What's your story, anyway?
Look, mister. No offense, but I don't even know you.
Easily remedied. Victor Sullivan. This would be the part where you introduce yourself. Okay. Suppose you tell me what's so special about that ring.
It belongs in my family. I'm just taking it back.
Passed down from Francis Drake himself.
That's right.
I don't know how to break this to you, kid, but Drake didn't have any heirs. No children.
Well, not with his wife back in England, anyway.
Okay, good point. Let me see it. Come on, kid. If I was gonna take it from you, I would have done it by now. Thank you. So, what is this? Parvis
Sic Parvis Magna. It means greatness from small beginnings. That was his motto.
Yeah?
You see, Queen Elizabeth gave it to him in 1581, when he got back to England after circumnavigating the globe. That's when she made him a knight.
Well, you sure as hell didn't learn that on the streets. How's a kid your age know Latin?
The nuns sort of insisted on it.
So, like a boarding school?
That's a nice word for it.
Okay, then. So what was all that business with the ring and that astrolabe thing back there?
Why don't you tell me? You're the one working for him.
Look, kid. A client wants something, I obtain it. For a price. I don't ask any questions. It's just a job.
Look pretty friendly to me.
Yeah, well. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm fired.
Okay, look. First of all, that was no astrolabe. It's some sort of decoding device. Check this out. On his way around the world, Drake sailed through the East Indies. Only he says that it took him 6 months to get from here to here.
Yeah, so?
So it doesn't add up. He was way too good a sailor for that. It would have taken him a month, tops. He was hiding something. Something big.
How big?
Like secret mission from the Queen big. Like millions in plundered treasure that hasn't ever been recovered big.
That big?
That big.
And that decoder has something to do with it?
I would bet my life on it.
Oh, swell. And Marlowe's got it.
Won't do her much good without the key.
So it's a stalemate then?
For now.
So you still haven't told me what your name is?
And you still haven't told me what you want from me.
Okay. Look, you got talent, but you got a lot to learn. You stick with me and I'll teach you a few things.
Thanks. But I'm doing just fine on my own.
Yeah, clearly. What do you say we try this again? My friends call me Sully.
Nathan Drake. Nate.
Drake, huh? Okay. I see great things in our future, kid. Great things.
They changed that arc from the game into the movie. The movie-wise, Sam gives the necklace to Nathan. Means that the Drakes already had the necklace before. So in the games and in the movie, it is completely different, which I really like. I really like, and I already played the clip for you guys, how Sully and Nate met is totally different in this movie too. I really dug that. I thought that was really cool and really well developed. I really like also how they did what they did in the film, and I freaking adored what they have done with the scene when they first met. And I actually really like it because Sully actually convinced him that he needs his help. Now let's get to the stories, the action scene, and a little bit of the Nathan Drake theme song that we hear a little bit in the movie, which we're going to talk about, and then also the cameo by Nolan North. So let's start with the story. It's an ordinary story from a video game partition turned into a movie, and an adventure movie in general. The story in this film is great. It has great to bark, and it shows don't tell. That's what I wanted from Hotel Transylvania 4, but we never got it. In Uncharted, though, we got that, and I really like that. And the story really does tell you who to trust and who's not to trust. I really like that. In the games, we only couldn't trust one person, but we could trust another person. Like, in the games, it's totally different how they did that. In the movie, though, it is fantastic. It works very well, and it was so great how they did it. And that's what's great about the story. Because there's a certain scene, and I'm just going to spoil it, and I mean, everyone else saw the film, so I think I could spoil it. So Drake finds out that Sam is dead. His brother's dead. And Sully goes in, and he's like, tell me the truth. And then that's when Sully tells him that this main villain killed his brother, and he's like, so you lied to me the entire time, so you think I know something. And he's like, well, yeah, do you? And he's like, did you really ask me that? That is a great way to continue, like, the story and just make it worked. Of course, it works on their relationship later in the movie, which is great. The action scenes are great. I got 3 favorite action scenes. Number 3 is the scene where Drake is in the museum and he literally kicks the bad guy. He's like, Sully, you're going to have to buy the cross. And he's like, listen, kid, you could get a heart attack or cut the power. I don't give a shit. Just distract them. And he jumps on the light things. You know those little light things they have in the trailers? He was on that for so long, and that action scene was amazing. I freaking loved it. My second favorite action scene is the main action scene at the end, where, you know, Drake gets all the guns, and it was so cool because it looked real. It looked like an actual Uncharted adaptation. That is awesome, how you develop all of that to that one awesome action scene. And my #1 favorite action scene, and you guys already knew from the trailer, I lost it. It's the plane scene. I love that scene. It was really cool, really extra paced, and there's like extra scenes in the entire film that works. It was so good. It has all like the dynamic things we had. And by the way, that scene when he's off the plane holding onto the box thing, if you guys don't know, that's from Uncharted 3. That's a reference to Uncharted 3, the video game. That is so cool how they did it, and I really liked it. Now, let's get to the main theme song, Nathan Drake's theme. Now, I used this theme song on my intro. I am not kidding. That theme song I would listen to. And I add it on my intro because it is one of my favorite theme songs from any situations. Video games and movies in general. So how do they handle the theme song in the movie? They only played it twice. The first time was when they get out of the water and Nolan North's cameo comes in. I thought that was okay. It was good. It was cool. It's not okay. It was awesome. The second one was when it was well deserved. It was the ending of, like, it was getting near the boss battle, and Drake knocks out this one guy that has the gun pouch, which, if you guys don't know, in the video games, Nathan Drake wears a gun pouch where he takes the gun and puts it in this. He took it, and it plays that theme song. I'm like, and when I was in the theater, I about yelled, "Yes! Let me hear it!" And when I did, I didn't scream, but I was so happy. I was nodding my head the entire time. It was so cool for me. I loved it. And it was so cool how they did it. I would have wished that they used it a little bit more in the movie, but they didn't. And I was like, you know what? That's okay. I got what I wanted. Now let's get to, the relationships, starting with Sully and Drake. Now, in the video games, I'm going to compare us from the video games to the movie. So let's start with the video games. In the video games, like I said, they met, they didn't trust each other, and then they started having the dynamic, and then Sully becomes the father figure he never thought of becoming, but he becomes it and he feels good about it. That's Sully. That's their story arc in the video games. What about in the movie? It's totally different, but it was so well deserved. I really like how they did that. That was really cool. I can never forget the first time ever in a movie I felt like a father-son connection in this film. I mean, yeah, in Old, I never felt that. Especially Hotel Transylvania 4, I never felt that. Sonic, you kind of do feel that, but at the same time, you don't. In this movie, though, you feel it, and it really works for these two. I really like how their dynamic comes from the video games into the movie. And I thought the entire film, I was like, yeah, they could have worked it a little bit more, but they went over. They really did a good job with Sully and Drake's relationship. I really like that. How about Nathan Drake and Chloe's relationship in this film? They have a love connection, right? They have to from the video games, right? And they do. I really like how they did that. I really do. It felt like they were actually getting a connection to each other. And that's what I really like about this movie. It works like that I keep saying that, but it works like that because how they develop everything with the writing and all that. And I really like it when they do it. Okay. So before I get to my bad, what do I think about the after credit? Well, one, Sam's alive, so that's one of the after credits. The one after credit is what made me realize there is going to be a sequel. And yes, I am going to make a separate video later this week talking about what do I think is going to happen in the sequel. And then after this, I got to make a video about something else, but we'll get to that soon. It's the after credit where Nate and Sully, reconnect to each other. And this time, Sully has the mustache. I love that. I love that after credit. I love what they did to make Sully actually have the mustache at the end and makes it look like he's going to have it in the second movie. Because he's keeping the mustache. I mean, come on. You got to admit. And it's cool because also you hear Drake say, "Oh, crap." Now, if you like, a lot of you guys don't know, when Drake says, "Oh, crap," that means it's the iconic thing that Drake always says, "Oh, crap." He says it whenever he gets into lots of trouble or something in the video games. So in the movie, that means they're in the after credit, that means they're in big trouble, right? You are correct. Because hopefully in the sequel, we'll figure out who is the main villain of that, and maybe we'll figure out what happens next. But, yeah. But unfortunately, I do have one problem. I never thought I'd say that. I only have one problem with a movie, thank God. The one problem I have with Uncharted is the main villain. Now, to be honest, I thought the guy who was the villain and who threatened Drake and all that in the trailer and in the movie was going to be the main villain, but no, he was just killed off. She wasn't interesting. And I'm going to go there. She wasn't interesting to be a main villain. All we know is that she worked with Sully in the past, and she doesn't trust Sully. That's literally her character in this film. I would have loved her character. You know what would have made this movie a little bit better? If this was Nadine. Now, a lot of you guys don't know, Nadine worked with the mother freaking rich guy. If this was Nadine, I was actually like it. But no, this is a different person who dies at the end of the movie, and I really didn't care, like, okay, you're dead. I would have loved to cheer on for both of them, but honestly, she wasn't an interesting villain. And it's not that I don't think she's a great actress. She's perfect for a villain role, but in this film, she didn't really buy it. I didn't buy it. So what villain would I rather have her than the other guy as well? Is the freaking rich guy from the 4th game. I thought he would be an interesting take for a main villain. So if we would have, I don't know, had someone like Nadine or someone working with him, then I would accept it. But her, I just never felt connected, you know? Yeah. So overall, guys, that is my only problem with the Uncharted movie. I really, really love this movie. I think it's perfect. I think it's better than Sonic, better than Mortal Kombat. A lot of people are going to hate my decision and my score on this movie. Honestly, I don't care. It's my opinion, my channel. Shut the frick up. But, like I said, it's a good game adaptation of a movie. And it's definitely on my top 10 best films of 2022. I cannot wait to make my list. And I think this one's going to be either the number 5 spot or number 3. It's close to that. I know it is. So my score for Uncharted, the movie. Okay. Sorry, I'm just so happy that I'm finally talking about it. My score for Uncharted is a 9 out of 10. What an enjoyable film, an enjoyable character development, and all of that. This film really works for what it gave me, and I cannot thank Sony enough for making this film. For overall, guys, what do you guys think of the Uncharted movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you love it more than I did? You tell me in the comments below. I will see you guys in my next video when I talk about what I think is going to happen if they do confirm a sequel, which I'm really hoping they do, confirm a sequel to Uncharted, the movie. I will make that video immediately. As always, smack the like button, also push the red button, which is subscribe, turn your notifications to be notified video I make. Also go in the links in the description to my gaming channel, my 3rd channel, my 4th channel, and my Discord server. And also, go in the Google form in the link in the description to pick whatever you guys want me to do on my 20th birthday. You guys can click on it, and there you go. You can pick it, and you will win a shout out or something if you tell me in the comments below you did it. As always, I'm Daily Reacts. Take care.